You are now onto our App of the Week segment. This is where we demonstrate an app showing you whether or not it has accessibility issues or not. Should you have an app that you would like us to feature on one of our episodes, feel free to send such an app to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now, here's this episode's App of the Week.
And we close this week with an App of the Week. So Warren has redeemed himself from that abysmal performance and provided some content. And this is an interesting document and RSS reader, Quickify.
Hi, for episode 171 App of the Week, this is demonstrating Quickify, Quickify. Quickify is an electronic reading app. In other words, you can use it in reading documents, books, etc. For today's demonstration, I'll be utilizing my Pixel 8 Pro and using TalkBack 14.x. I am on my home screen now and will navigate my way to the folder of my eBooks reader, and therein we'll find the Quickify app.
Folder. eBook readers, 4 or more items.
Here is my ebook folder. I'll tap here to activate.
Kindle.
The first thing we heard is Kindle because I have 2 pages of the eBooks readers. I'll now swipe with 2 fingers from right to left to move to the second page and find Quickify.
Page 2 of 2.
Here I am on page 2. Put my finger down and tap on Quickify.
Quickify. Quickify. Side menu. Button. Detected. Image. Icon.
Upon launching the app, the first thing we heard was side menu, and that's found near the top left corner. And going right from there, we have the title of the app, which is Quickify. And then to the right of that, we've got a couple buttons. The first button before the one on the top right is
Create folder. Button.
Create folder. In other words, you can tap here to create a folder. The last button there on the top right will be
Toggle day or night theme. Button.
Toggle day or night theme. In other words, if you want to change it to a light color, you tap on that and that changes it to a light color. By default, it's in dark mode. That's all the buttons that we have on the top. At the bottom, we have one single
Add documents.
Add documents, and that's what we have. In other words, you could tap here to add a document or add a book, add a file, whatever it is you want to add to your reading list. You can also share things like web pages or web articles with Quickify if you want them read by Quickify. Now that I've shown you all the buttons that we have here in Quickify, below the quick menu that we find near the top left, we've got some tabs. In other words, we've got like 3, 4 or so tabs here. And then below that, we have some write-ups or little articles by the creator of the app. Here are the tabs I'm talking about.
All documents. 2 unread. In list.
The first one we heard is all documents, and it says 2 unread. And these are the writings that I'm talking about that comes direct from the developer of the app. Going right, we've got
Links. 0 unread.
links. In other words, if you have shared any link from the web to Quickify, they will be found in this tab. The next tab will be
Files. 0 unread.
Files, and those will be books that you import from your phone or from whatever. These will be found here. The next one will be
Integrations. 0 unread.
integrations. It means you can integrate this actually with some of your social media apps such as Telegram or Twitter and things like that. And by the way, it's X now, and that's what that means when it talks about integrations.
Today. 2. In list.
And now below there, we get today, and it says to enlist, and these are the writings I was talking about. The first one is
I dream to read more and built the best reading app out there.
and then the second one
Quickify. Quick tour.
is the quick tour of Quickify. We'll come to this and show you how you go about reading these things or books that you've imported. But first, though, let's go ahead, though, and tap on the top left top corner and on that side menu.
Side menu. Button.
Here's that side menu. Let's go ahead and tap here.
0 minutes time spent reading.
Tapping on that, we're told 0 minutes spent reading because I haven't read anything as of yet, and so I don't have any progress to report. Below there, though, we've got the following.
Settings.
We have settings, moving down,
Highlights.
highlights. In other words, if I highlighted any phrases or whatever, will be found right here in the highlights. So if I tap on it, moving down,
Archive.
archive, of course, has to do with things that I've decided to archive. Moving down,
Reading history.
reading history is going to show me my reading history, the things that I've read. Moving down,
Read from clipboard.
read from clipboard. In other words, if I copy something to the clipboard and I come here and I tab on read from clipboard, it will actually read what it is that I had copied to the clipboard.
User guide.
The next item here is the user guide. And last item,
Feedback.
we have the feedback. If you tap here, you're going to see the different modes of contacting the developer, including things like WhatsApp or Telegram and the like. That's the last item here. Let's now, though, go back to the settings and tap on that and see what settings we have, because that is probably one of the most important things in any of the apps that one uses. I will now go up and tap on settings.
Settings.
Here is settings.
Back. Button. Showing items 1 to 5.
Tapping on settings, we're highlighted on the top left corner that says back. Let's go ahead and see what we encounter in the settings. First item in the settings we come across is
General. In list.
the first item we come across is General,
General.
and that's a tab. And then to the right of it,
Library.
we have Library, meaning you can go into a library from here. Next,
Reading.
we have Reading. Next,
Style.
Style. And then the last item,
Mode.
Mode. That's the last item. And below that, we have
Subscription. Heading. Out of list.
a header that talks about subscription. In other words, this is a paid app. So if you want to subscribe to it, I think it's like a $2 subscription, a monthly subscription, or you could have a lifetime. I believe it's like $35 or somewhere in there. Let's go down though and see what we have.
Monthly. $1.99. 7 days for free.
In other words, you could try it for 7 days free, or you could have a monthly subscription for $2, $1.99. Moving down,
Lifetime. $34.99.
we come across lifetime subscription, which is a one-time payment of $35, $34.99. Moving on down,
Try free trial.
we have the try free trial. Moving down,
Do you have any questions? Contact support.
if you have any questions, concerns, or whatever, tap here to contact support. Next,
Integrations. Heading.
we come across that integration heading that I was talking about and has to do with things like social media. Here's what I'm talking about.
Disabled. Telegram bot. Submit files, links, or messages to the Telegram bot, and they'll be added to your Quickify library.
And you could tap that to enable it. By default, it is disabled.
Disabled. Pocket. Link your Pocket account to transfer your reading bookmarks in and out.
A little while ago, I demonstrated an app called Pocket, which is another reading app that you could use to read articles and things like that. You could actually link this to your Pocket account. Next,
Community. Heading.
we come across the community heading, and in here we got the following.
Telegram.
There's a Telegram. You can join that Telegram channel there.
Reddit.
There's a Reddit,
Twitter.
Twitter, with now X,
Discord.
Discord.
Join our community to stay updated on the latest features and learn how to accelerate your reading, conveniently and on the move, with the Quickify app.
Okay.
Help. Heading.
And under the help heading, we got the following.
User guide.
There is the user guide
Feedback.
and feedback.
Privacy policy.
Then we come across privacy,
Terms of use.
terms of use,
Google Play page.
and you could tap here to go to their Google page,
Show logs.
show the logs,
Quickify V85 4785.
and this tells us about the version of the app. And that's the last item. That would be the settings. Let's go ahead though and open up something that we can look at. Remember, this is just a quick tour of it. I don't want to spend too much time on it because this is getting a little bit lengthy. So let's go ahead though and go back and pick on one of those things that we saw earlier. I'm going to go back now.
Side menu. Button.
We're back to the menu UI, and I'm going to look at the first item.
I dream to read more and built the best reading.
Tap here.
Cover image. Out of list. Show.
Once you open a book or you open an article, then toward the bottom, we have some buttons. Starting from the left, we've got
5 minutes 58 sec time left reading.
it tells you about the time duration, and if you move your finger to the right,
Rewind back.
there's a rewind. If you move your finger to the right,
Start reading.
start reading, and if you move your finger to the right or you swipe right,
Rewind forward.
rewind forward, fast forward, and then if you move your finger to the right again, the last one,
Reading speed 190 words per minute.
it will be the reading speed, which caps off at 190 words per minute if you are not a paid member. You can change that to whatever you want if you're a subscriber or if you're doing the free trial, which gives you free, full access to the app and its features. Let's go ahead and tap on that Start Reading.
Start reading.
Hey, this is Stan, the founder of Quickify. I started this project back in the lockdown times when I accidentally sat on my Kindle and cracked its screen. I enjoyed reading on my Kindle, focusing more on articles from platforms like Hacker News and stuff from my favorite authors, and sometime going through whole books. Even with all the cool stuff popping up on my
I just
Showing
double
items
tap
5
to
to
stop the reading. One thing I do want to mention here in passing, however, is that the text of every book or article is actually exposed to your screen reader. So if you're a Braille user, for example, you could read things in Braille. And if you want to read natively with your screen reader, you can also read natively with your screen reader without the TTS output if you don't want it. So we have both worlds here, meaning you can use the TTS output or you can simply read it with your screen reader. Now, there's a way, though, to change voices, because you heard a voice here, but if you want to change that voice to something else, you could do so. And here's how we go about changing that voice or looking at the different voices that we have or we encounter within the app.
Reading speed 190 words per minute.
We tap on the reading speed. Tapping on that reading speed now takes us to a page where we could see all the different speed rates, and we can also choose the TTS engine that we would like to use. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
English. Heading.
We come across English and
963 words.
moving down,
Reading mode. Heading.
reading mode,
Text to speech.
and we get to text to speech.
Generator. Heading. Microsoft Server speech text.
We come across Microsoft Server speech text,
Voice. Heading.
and then we got the voice.
William.
We have William,
Voice pitch. Heading.
and then we have the pitch. Now, if we want to change from William, or if we want to change from the Microsoft speech server, for example, let's start though with changing from the Microsoft speech server.
Microsoft Server speech text.
We tap here,
Pop-up window. Acapella TTS. In list. Showing items
and
to
it shows my acapella moving down.
Auto TTS.
Keep going.
Seer voices.
Those are my local text-to-speech engines that I have on the
Google
phone.
Speech Services.
Google Speech Services,
Microsoft Server speech text. Selected.
and that's the one that is checked by default. Going down,
Multilingual TTS.
keep going down.
Natural TTS.
Natural TTS,
RH voice. Speak TTS. Vocalizer TTS. Yandex Speech Kit Cloud. eSpeaking.
You got the drift. Now I'm going to go back.
Voice. Heading.
Let's go now to the voice.
William.
And if I tap on William,
Pop-up window. William. Selected.
so
In
we
list.
got William,
Show. Clara.
Clara,
Liam.
Liam,
Sam.
Sam.
Yan.
So you choose the one you want.
Nirja.
You kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about.
Nirja.
Now I'm going to go back.
Quickify. I dream.
Now, there's one last thing I want to talk about, or one of the last things I want to talk about, is that now that I have this thing opened, at the very bottom where I showed you the duration, if it were a book or if it were some article that has contents and all of that, you tap on that duration and it'll bring up the different items in there. For example,
3 minutes 39 seconds.
if I tap there, and we have
Crushed screen turned into a startup idea.
move
In list. Image 1.
1,
What sort of reading thing do I need?
next,
Image 2. Advanced and speed reading. Video 1.
and it also has videos and things like that. Now, if I tap on any of these, for example,
What sort of reading thing do I need?
I tap
in
here, and
I
if
dream to read more and
I tap on
start reading.
start reading,
What sort of reading thing do I
Showing
need?
items 9 to
First of
13.
all, I was looking for an app that could combine all my reading habits in one place: books,
I just double tap to stop that reading. And another thing I want to mention here in passing is that if you scroll down and then you tap on a paragraph, it highlights that. And if you tap on that start reading, it will start reading from where you have just tapped. So for example, I go down.
Advanced and speed reading.
So if I tap here and then I tap on start reading,
Start reading.
advanced and speed reading,
Showing items
rapid
13
serial
to
visual
19 to
presentation,
34.
also known as RSVP and spritz, is the first method.
as you can see, I was able to start reading from where I double tapped to highlight. I do also want to mention here, before we bring this to a close, that if you want to highlight an item or a phrase, a word, whatever, you simply double tap and long press on it, and then it'll pop up things that you can see, things like the color that you want to highlight it with, but those things are not spoken for us. They're simply said unlabeled. Totally, this thing was not accessible at all, and I started working with him like a little while ago before I went on my trip, and now he's done some work and will continue to work on this until this thing is fully accessible the way that we want it. For now, though, you can add your documents and be able to read things normally, and in order to be able to use it with the screen shut off, you need a subscription. If you try to read with just a free one without subscribing or doing a 7-day trial, when you go to shut off the screen, it's going to tell you it's not going to work. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Start reading.
That formed the basis of Quickify and perhaps
So now I'm
even
going to hit
gave
the
it its
power,
name.
shut the screen.
I was very surprised when I easily read a couple of articles for the first time. Upgrade to Quickify Pro to keep listening to your documents in the background.
As you can hear, it told me I should upgrade to the Pro in order to be able to keep listening to things in the background. And that would conclude this demonstration of Quickify, El Quico.
And Warren, you were gonna make an additional comment, weren't you, about this in terms of text to speech and what you can do that's not in the demo?
Indeed, I didn't do a very good job at demonstrating this app, but I do want to mention here that while you are in that settings, toward the very bottom of that, there's something called all settings. If you tap on that, though, it will give you an option, or rather, when you're going through the TTS engines and you tap on maybe William or whatever the default is, and you scroll toward the bottom of it, though, you're going to find a default, or a fallback rather, to a TTS in the event that maybe the chosen default TTS happens to fail. For example, you could choose one of the other ones there that it could fall back to. So I like that whole idea. Reminds me of the vocalizer TTS from Code Factory, whereupon you could choose a TTS that it could fall back to in the event that maybe you didn't have the data. So that's the same exact thing that I wanted to mention here, and also to let people know that it also does allow you the free trial, even a 1 month free trial. The guy sends me the code, and I will be having it put that in the show notes, so you could try this thing for a month to see if you like it or not. I totally like the app, so I encourage people to go for it. It's a great app. I really like the voices, just beautiful.
Yeah, and it uses Microsoft voices, doesn't it?
Yes, it has the Microsoft voices, but when you tap where it says that Microsoft server or whatever, you have other options there that you can choose from. If you're not a fan of the Microsoft, you want something else, those things are already in there. So I think a lot of thought was put into developing this app, which is one of the things I like about this particular app, and looking forward to having him come on here as guest, and we're going to have a fun time with him.
So the app is free, and you can subscribe to have additional features, right?
Exactly. The app is free, and you can subscribe to have additional features. The one thing is that there's no ads. At least I didn't see any ad in there. The only holdback, though, is if you're using the free version, as I demonstrated toward the end of the demonstration, is that if you want to shut off your screen, you're not going to have that continuous reading if you're using the TTS output. However, the plus is that you can the text is exposed to the screen reader natively, so you can read it if you have a Braille device, or if you happen to prefer to just use your screen on and just use the your talkback or your screen reader, whatever it is, you can also use that. So, like I said, a lot of thought went into developing this app, and I'm happy with it. It's one of those few apps that I've been excited about, of recent.
Yeah, but are there limits regarding the online voices? I mean, number of words or something, or you can use them without any limit to the free version?
Didn't you mention the speech rate? You can't increase the speech rate with the free version. Is that also
Oh yeah,
a premium
that's
feature?
true. It seems you can't change or increase the speed rate if you're a free user. It kind of seems limits it as 190 words per minute. For me, that's intelligible enough. I don't think I want to go beyond that though. But everyone is different. So if you want a higher speed rate, then you have to subscribe, and it's not much. It's like $2 a month. Or you could have that lifetime subscription for $35. And frankly, I think given what the app does and all of that, it's not a bad plan at all.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I listened to the demo that you did, and the speed is good, I think. But I mean, the limit to how many words that a person can read or something, but there's no limit.
So I read a little, I read like maybe 2 chapters of a book with it. And so maybe I should have read a little bit more to see if I got limited or something. But reading 2 chapters, I think that was substantial. I didn't see any limitations. Like I said, the only limitation I observed was when I shut off the screen. But I'll have to read some more. But I don't know, to be honest, if there's any limit to how many words you can read. I didn't see anywhere in there that indicates that. Maybe there was, but like I was only giving a quick tour of it, I might have skipped over that.
It didn't say they were when I had a look at what Pro unlocked. It didn't mention a word limit. What will it do if you put your phone in airplane mode?
My guess, though, if you want to use it in an airplane mode, and if it's using these online voices, the good thing is that you can choose your local TTS, so you're not limited to just the online voices, for example. So if you're planning on using it offline, for example, voices offline, I'll suggest that one use a locally stored TTS, maybe either your Google Voices or one of the Acapella Voices or whichever TTS engine that you have that is locally stored on your phone.